You're okay. All of this will be taken out. Except for this part where I say all of this will be taken out.
This case should never have come to trial.
I don't think it's fair to call my clients frauds. Because one time I turned into a dog and they helped me. Thank you.
Your Honor, we would like to withdraw our plea of not guilty and enter a plea of guilty.
This trial is a travesty. It's a travesty of a mockery, of a sham, of a mockery, of a travesty, of two mockeries, of a sham.
If we are to have faith in justice, we need only to believe in ourselves.
And the truth shall set you free!
How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Oh, guilty, but with a real good excuse.
I think the truth will come forth.
You can't handle the truth!
Hello, everybody. It's time for more Law Light, brought to you by Foreman, Watson, Holtry, FWHlegal.com. As always, we're situated at 530 Frederica Street in the high-rise white brick edifice. And today we are excited because, PJ, we finally have a guest back in the house with us.
We do.
This guy's not a stranger to you and I, but
Nope.
He's never been on the show. And he is an important feller around here, Landon Barrowclough. Landon, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for the invite today.
Yeah. So Landon works for Foreman Watson Land Title, and while oftentimes the two entities here, Foreman Watson Holtry and Foreman Watson Land Title, nobody really understands the differences. Landon is the director of marketing and sales for Land Title. And how long have you had that position, Landon?
I've had that official position for 3 years now.
Okay.
But I've been with Foreman Watson Land Title since 2006.
Okay. So this guy has been with Foreman Watson Land Title, PJ, longer than I've been with Foreman Watson Holtry. So he's a veteran, and he can tell some stories, I'm sure. So
I can only imagine.
Well, but we're glad to have you. We want to jump in, Landon. Let me ask you this. Now you and I have had a lot of time together outside of work where we've made the trek to Louisville for numerous football games, right?
Correct.
And so I know a little bit about your history. I've talked to you about your dad, and I've met your sister and things like that. But tell us a little bit, where were you born and raised?
Well, I call Owensboro my home, but I was a military Marine Corps brat growing up.
Right.
So I was actually born in Norfolk, Virginia, and at 9 months old was moved to Okinawa, Japan with my family.
All right.
My father was in the Marine Corps for 29 years, obviously since retired. But we moved to Okinawa, Japan, lived there for 4 years. I don't have many memories of that, only memories I've received from pictures I saw or stories I was told. After that, when I was around 5 years old, we moved to Hawaii. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
I've seen photos.
Yes.
So I'm sure it was.
So from 5 to 10 years old, I lived in Hawaii. So that's when my young memories that I actually can remember. I actually remember going to the beach almost every day. I boogie boarded. My mother let me go way out in the ocean with people farther than I can believe. Probably dangerous situations I probably shouldn't have been in. But, you're a carefree kid on the beach, and that's just the way the feeling was in Hawaii.
Cool. Well, okay, so at what age did you leave Hawaii?
I left Hawaii 11 years old, I believe,
All right.
which I didn't. Then we went to Quantico, Virginia, which is right outside, about 30 miles outside of Washington, D.C., and that is where the FBI Academy is, if you've all seen Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
Where she runs through the woods and the FBI Academy and stuff. I lived right outside those woods in a little military housing there. Lived there for 3 years, and then my father had to go back to Japan for 1 year. So my mother's from Owensboro. We moved to Owensboro, or I moved to Owensboro with her. Did not want to keep switching schools a lot. I was playing baseball, wanted to stay put one place, so I wanted to stay here. So me and my mother stayed here. Unfortunately, my parents ended up getting divorced, so I stayed here with my mother and went to Apollo High School. Again, played baseball. And then after graduation, I went to Kentucky Wesleyan. Played a little baseball at Kentucky Wesleyan. I did go there on a educational scholarship, Stanley Reed Leadership Scholarship. Believe it or not, I went there for my brains.
And not your brawn?
And not my brawn, yes.
PJ was getting ready to ask that, I could tell.
Yeah, I'm just wondering when you realized how difficult it was to do boogie boarding on the Ohio River.
Well, the problem with that is when you get out of the Ohio River, everything is that tinted brown color.
Well, it's instant spray tan.
Is that what it is? Spray tan,
yeah,
yes.
you come out a different shade.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll pretend that's from spray tan.
Yeah.
I had my own bathing suit just for the Ohio River.
It's called a wetsuit.
Yes.
So, okay, so you went to KW.
Yes.
Right. 4-year plan, 5-year plan, or 6-year plan?
Well, it was supposed to be a 4-year plan. It was only 4.5 years.
Okay, there you go.
So,
what was your major at KW?
my major was history, which everyone immediately said, what are you going to do with a history degree? You going to be an attorney or are you going to teach? And I said, neither. And then I had a long document that I printed out that said, all these jobs you can do with a history degree that are not teaching or being an attorney, so I could show it to everybody, because that was the number one question you got.
Oh, no, my daughter is a history major, and it's the number one question her dad asked. You know, I was like, what are you going to do with a history major if you're not going to teach?
Yeah.
So, but she's done well, so.
But I had a great history teacher in high school, and then I realized real early in college that if I was going to finish on time, if you enjoy going to classes, it was much easier to go to classes and sit through them and you know pass your courses if you enjoyed what you were doing.
Right.
So that's why I elected to go history. Have a lot of other elective classes because it was because at Kentucky Wesleyan Liberal Arts College you had to take other classes too.
Good. Okay. Wait. When did you exit KW with a degree? What year?
2001.
Okay. And so I know you started here in 2006, and we're going to get into what here has looked like for you.
Yeah.
But tell me real quick, the fill in the dates between 2001 and 2006.
Well, first I graduated high school in '97. Went to Wesleyan, played a little baseball there, and my senior year, in between baseball, I was working at Service Merchandise. Some of us know what that is, some of us don't. But I was, during the summers, running the back of Service Merchandise. That's where you actually had to go get the merchandise from the back.
You put it on the rollers?
You put them on the rollers and stuff. And then I'd check you out, too. I ran the whole thing.
Oh, you were an important guy.
I thought I was important, yeah. So when I figured out that my baseball draft status was not going to be, anything, I figured I needed something better on my resume than Service Merchandise. So Kentucky Wesleyan had a job board, which I found a file clerk position at a local law firm. So I called them, had no idea what they did, sounded nice, and interviewed. And at the time, the manager of the law firm, I can't think of her name now, but little older lady. I feel like she fell in love with me. I did a good interview with her. She's the one that hired me, not Jeff Foreman or Jim Watson, because she did all the interview and everything. But they hired me as a file clerk to work while I was going to school. And file clerk consisted of not law firm file clerk. They had the title company, which was called Progressive Land Title. They needed somebody. This was before scanning.
Right.
So after every file closed, they needed somebody to type a label out. They needed someone to make copies and put them into the folders and then put them into the filing cabinets. Hundreds of filing cabinets we had in the back. So that's what I did for the most part. I'd go to school in the morning, come here in the afternoon, and do the files, or vice versa.
So you were their Kindle.
I was their Kindle, yes.
Yes. And Kindle not meaning the thing you read books on.
Right.
Kendall White, our intern clerk, who works half of the day for the law firm and works half the day for Land Title.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
We're going to miss her. She's going to be leaving to go to school.
I was the original Kindle.
There you go.
Not the original Ken doll.
No, not the original Ken doll.
Yeah.
Get confused for it sometimes, though.
He is a stud, isn't he? All right. Let's go. Let's catch up.
So as I was finishing up my job making labels, I wanted to learn, what do we really do here? I mean, I was young. I'd never bought a house before. So they got me where I was actually post-closing, which is after somebody closes on a loan, checks need to be sent out, documents need to be sent to the lender. I was doing all of that. I was the original copy B-word. is what they called me.
Okay.
I can't cuss on here, I was told.
Yeah, you.
So.
Beach.
Yes.
Right.
So now I'm the head copy beach today is what.
Oh, you're the head copy
Yes, that's
beach?
what they say. Yeah. But this is the story where when you come in as the copy beach, you can progress and
become marketing and sales beach.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So, but at this time it was still Progressive Land Title, which there was the first refinance boom when the interest rates dropped really, really low, and we were doing maybe 100 refinances a week.
Wow.
I mean, every 30 minutes, people were coming in doing the refinances. And back then, the technology wasn't as good. So if there was a issue with the documents, you couldn't fix them in a few minutes. You had to come back the next day or wait here for a couple hours. So, and there was a lot of that happening at that time. So that's pretty much after once I graduated from college in 2001, they offered me a full-time job just meeting with people, signing their documents, doing their closings, all the refinances. And so a lot of my friends were working at restaurants. They had college degrees. They were having a tough time finding jobs. I think they were paying me $8 an hour maybe, with a college degree. But, hey, it's a job. Let's do this. So that's what the day I graduated, I came in, and that was my new position. And then when I wasn't meeting with people, I would still help out, get files, make labels, and things
Copy
like
beach.
that. Yeah, copy beach, yes. Yeah, I never lost that title. So in 2003... we arrive here one day, and Jeff Foreman and Jim Watson have sold the title company, Progressive Land Title. Son of a beach. So they sold all their Kentucky offices to a national title insurer called First American. First American came in and kept all the employees if you wanted to stay, but they kind of asked you if you wanted to do something different. Well, at this time, First American in all their offices, they had sales reps. And because I've gotten to meet a lot of people by doing the closings, and even some realtors by doing purchase closings, I was young, just about to get married, had no kids. Hey, you can make commission on sales. They really pumped it up to me, and I was like, let's do this. So I became a sales rep for First American. So I went from working for 2 local attorneys to having 20 bosses across the country for this large Fortune 300 company at this time. Have you ever seen the movie Office Space?
Yeah.
Your TP, whatever reports and stuff, and you got to answer all the Bobs and everything. I now had Bobs I had to answer to. It was a real learning experience for me, though, getting to work for a Fortune 300 company, learning how it works. Every couple months, I had to fly down to Florida for some training seminars, which we would train one day and then...
Beach.
And then, yeah, and then beach next 2 or 3 days. They had some nice parties they had.
It's the real beach life.
Yes. Yeah. I think it was spending money for tax purposes maybe. but no, we did have to fly down to Florida a lot because that's where my region was. And so in 2006, Jeff Foreman and Jim Watson, they had a 3-year non-compete as far as opening up title companies in Kentucky again. And at this point, the market was kind of going bad. If you've ever seen The Big Short, where they talk about the housing market crash, that's kind of where we're leading up to around 2006. So companies like First American were going back and selling their businesses back to some of the companies that they bought them from, or trying to get out of their leases with those companies and things like that, where they had maybe were renting the office space. So in 2006, Jeff and Jim thought maybe it'd be a good idea to get back in Kentucky. They liked doing title work. That was their thing. So they approached some of us from the original office to see if we wanted to come on board, and we did. So that's when Foreman Watson Land Title was created in 2006. So hence that's when I came back here in 2006 to be their, not director of marketing and sales. I was the marketing and sales department, so there was no, right. No scale of it. Yeah, I was.
You
the
weren't
only
a
person.
Bob.
No, I was not a Bob. No,
right.
I was the Bob that answered to myself, kind of. So yeah, it went great. It was perfect timing. I've been in the business for over 20 years now.
Right.
I used to be the baby. I'm the old guy now. We have employees at Foreman Watson, that went through the same progress that I did, that have been here longer than I have.
Yeah.
We started with Progressive Land Title, stayed with First American for that 3-year buyout, and then came back with Foreman Watson. And that, I believe that's why we've been so successful, is because we've had those employees that have been through a lot of loyalty. Yeah. And our clients like that and appreciate that.
Yeah, that's the same formula with Foreman, Watson, Holtry. Is there's people back there who have been since day one here with when we became Foreman, Watson, Holtry on the law firm side. So
correct.
Man, the value's in your people. So,
yes, yeah.
For people that are listening, Landon, what service is it that you quote sell? What service is it that Land Title does? Attorneys and bankers understand the need of a land title company.
Mm-hmm.
But to the public, what is Land Title?
The best thing I can say about Land Title is we give you a peace of mind that the home you own, nobody can come take the rights or claim the title to it.
Okay.
Now, how do you get that peace of mind? That's where we do a title search at the clerk's office to make sure that the title you're buying, the title to your home, is free and clear of any liens, title issues, mortgages that shouldn't be on there. And then, of course, you can get title insurance, where we can insure not only our work, but it's also insuring things that are not done correctly at the clerk's office. People may file claims against your property that are not viable claims, but the title insurance protects you against that. So it's things outside of our realm,
like easements and things like that.
Yes,
and
correct.
Just all kinds of encumbrances.
Yes,
right.
but the most important thing is, the one thing we find the most is unreleased mortgages,
right,
from the past, judgment liens on people, things like that. There was one joke at a training seminar that, oh no, my title has cucumbers. They were talking about encumbrances. But to the public, they're like, my title has cucumbers? and that's probably just a title joke, only funny to title people. But that's where we have to express to the public in a better way what we do so they understand.
Okay, so that's the service is providing this title search and title insurance for people who are purchasing real estate.
Correct.
However, the service then gets tied up into other things. I mean, we're a facilitator of closings and things like that. Yes. And why is it that a company that provides title search and title insurance is also the place where the closing's transacted?
Yeah. Well, the lenders, they want to give you a mortgage note. They want to be your bank and your lender. We take the responsibility of the closing, the escrow part where the money runs through our accounts and we disperse the funds where they need to go. We take that off of the lender and the bank so they don't have to worry about that. They can concentrate on their customers and getting them their mortgage. Okay. And also, they don't want the risk of doing the closings,
right,
and handling the disbursements of the funds and the money and recording the legal documents and things like that. Okay. So we take that risk away from the lender.
So when you say, now you're director of marketing and sales, which means there's other people that I guess help you sell the service of Land Title, right?
Correct.
Okay, so who are you going to sell the service to?
We market to anyone that can send us what's called a title order, which is asking us for a title search and then possibly leading to a closing or title insurance. But that could be builders, lenders, mortgage companies, realtors. We do advertise to the public somewhat, not as much as the law firm does, but we do educate the public more through our social media and through our website now. Because people check on you. They're smarter about it now. If they're referred to us by a realtor or a loan officer, they don't just take their word for it now. They go online and look us up, see what we're about. So we make sure that the public knows more and more about what we do. And with the Foreman, Watson, Holtry advertising the law firm does, you hear the Foreman, Watson first.
Right.
So it helps us when we're advertising. They hear Foreman, Watson, they think law firm. When you guys advertise, they hear Foreman, Watson, they may think Land Title.
Right.
So it does blend and it does cross promote, and it's a brand that we've all created together.
Okay, so with Land Title, one of the things that I think is important for people to understand is that we have gotten into an age where everything is done electronically. And what I want you to touch on for a minute, and I know this is, you and I have sat through several meetings together with the partners of the law firm and the principals of land title, who happen to be the same people. But we've sat in these meetings because the issue of wire fraud and fraud electronically, which is becoming it's becoming basically a second job of ours, isn't it? In what ways are we seeing wire fraud or illegal activity in the real estate industry and financing industry?
Wire fraud is the number one issue as far as land title that we are experiencing. Anytime we get a new file, we send the borrower a wire fraud email that does look a little scary. It's supposed to show up in their email and pop out like, oh my gosh, I need to read this. And it tells the warnings of wire fraud. If you get something emailed to you, make sure you call and verify it. Call us before you send us money. Make sure we're the one that sent it to you. Recently, I've had several people call in that have gotten the wire fraud email and then got something from us, and they did call in and double check. And I was really proud of that because it shows that our email is working.
Right.
I texted somebody to get some information recently, and they called in too and said, this person said they were from Foreman Watson Land Title, but they called in here to make sure. And again, I was proud that what we're doing is actually working, because people are they're real nonchalant about it. They're looking on their phones at their emails. You can't tell what an email on your phone really is, if it's real or not. And that's where a lot of it's happening. It's just the world we live in, where it's fast paced. You're looking at your phone. You just go, okay, they need this. Sure, I'll send it to them. And you don't know who you sent it to.
You just gave information.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say these hackers are getting very savvy, where they're making. I know, like there's been there's these Netflix emails that go out that look very legit. Especially if you have Netflix,
it is very scary.
If you click a link or respond a certain way, then they've got you.
Yeah, I mean, there's little things being done too. Jim told the story about the people that were going around and dropping thumb drives in parking lots of businesses, and those thumb drives had the technology on them to get into your server and to steal all your information, and basically they could tap into that. And so a person says, oh, I found a thumb drive, and instead of taking it and throwing it away, they plug it into their device at their desk, and then boom, they've got access to everything. And then it's this crazy what's being done.
Curiosity killed the cat.
The law firm, we deal with 10 years ago, when I would be sending medical records back and forth with an expert witness, say, hey, I want you to look at these and let me know if there's a case here or not. You would send medical records with people's information on it, just open. But now we have Hornet security. Everything is encrypted. Everything is protected and password protected. Those people aren't allowed to open it until they get a password sent to them separately. And it's just changed. We have to tell clients now, in the law firm, hey, we have a cybersecurity risk, and the Kentucky Bar Association requires us to notify them of those things. It's just a whole different age when it comes to doing business,
And the problem is, we may be as secured as we can make it at our offices, but you have so many hands that are involved in these transactions. If the other person isn't secured, if that third party isn't secured, they can get information from them, and next you know, the hacker is involved in the transaction somehow.
That's the most recent one that became a big issue for the land title, because I know that I got involved on the litigation end of that. It was a third party that was the gateway for them to get the information from and do an illegal wire transfer.
Correct. Yeah.
So
you just got to be very careful.
Landon, real quick, kind of give us first of all, and we don't shy back from this. In Owensboro, who else does land title work? I mean, we have Foreman Watson Land Title, big known name. Who are the competitors or other people that do that?
We have
who should other people avoid?
Yes.
Yeah. We're going to get around to that.
Yeah.
Why
are we
better?
Friendly competitors. Right across the street is Regional Land Title.
Right.
They've been there probably as long as we have. We have some newer folks to the title game. Commonwealth Land Title. They're down Frederica. I would say that we're all the three top biggest title companies in town that compete against each other, like I said, in a friendly way. It's all.
But in Owensboro is just one place where Foreman Watson Land Title is. Like, I mean, where
you had mentioned about sales earlier. I do have a sales team consisting of myself and 7 other people, because we're in Evansville, Indiana, Henderson, Kentucky. We're in Bowling Green, Kentucky. We just opened up an office in Glasgow, Kentucky, and we're about to open up an office in Russellville, Kentucky. And we have a fairly new office in Franklin, Tennessee.
Right.
So we're in Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. So because of having all those markets and we're growing, I couldn't do it all by myself anymore.
You couldn't be the beach.
I could not be the beach. So I had to get more beaches.
And be a Bob.
Yeah, be a Bob. Yes. I am the Bob now. And we've got a great sales team. Their personalities are great. We were just in training all day yesterday in Bowling Green, getting some sales training, and it's just a really good team that works together. We don't compete against each other. We sell Foreman Watson, whether it's land title or market the branding of the law firm, because again we're all blended together, and it just works real well. But
well, when people listen to this, that list of cities that Landon just listed should sound familiar, because the way that this has been done is that footprint gets forged by land title, and then the law firm comes in and sets up satellite offices in these locations, and we've been able to get involved in those communities and generate work there. And so it's exciting. Glasgow and Russellville market, I mean, that's real exciting to me. That area is just untapped, and so I think it's going to be a great thing. Landon, I guess before I let you go, with regards to here, just in Owensboro, okay? How many people does land title employ here in Owensboro? Do you know?
Off the top of my head, it's close to 20.
20 people.
Yes.
And then the law firm in the Owensboro office, we have 10. So we're talking about a business here in Owensboro that is employing 30 people, supporting 30 families, that type of thing. But then when you get outside of here, you're looking at I think land title's now close to 60 total.
I would say, combine all the offices, yes.
I think it's about 60, and the law firm is at 20, so we're talking about 80. And
wow.
When we talk about being involved in our community, that's our number one involvement, is our loyalty to our people and their families, and being able to provide that. But then outside of that, the reach of those people into the things they're involved in, the local nonprofits and all of the things that are done. It truly, I just came back from the radio station where I did some live radio, and it truly is exciting to see the involvement of the two businesses in this community, and I know you do a lot on your end with land title, and I appreciate it because it works so well with the firm. But I was asked this morning, do I see that changing? I was like, no, I think we're doubling down on it even more.
Yes.
And so it's an exciting time. Anything else? Anything? You have a question?
Yeah, I
PJ?
do. So you had said something earlier that made me curious about something. So. I come in here and you do a title search on a piece of property or house or whatever that I'm looking at buying, and then you find that it has a mortgage attached to it. Is this like a phantom mortgage that was?
Generally most people.
How is a mortgage?
Most people have to get a loan to buy a house.
Right.
The general public do, most of them. So most of the people, when we do a title search, the seller has a mortgage on the property.
Right.
So we have to order a payoff. At closing, we pay that loan off, get that mortgage released. But as I was telling you about the refi boom years ago, when we were doing 100 refis a week, and the servicing of those loans were being sold off a lot, you may make your payment to this bank one day, in 2 weeks you're making it to a different bank. Well, when people were refinancing so much, those loans are being paid off, but the documents were not being filed to release those mortgages. So we're finding a lot of older mortgages from previous owners on those titles that the loan's paid off. There's no money owed on them, but we have to track down a lot of companies that don't even exist anymore.
Oh, wow.
So we have to find out who took over their business. And at some point, they're so old that we take the risk with the title insurance that we can insure the lender that no one's ever going to file a claim. That mortgage is too old. We can prove that it was paid off, but we're going to take the risk with the title insurance that if someone ever filed a claim against that, that's on the title insurance.
Okay.
So it's basically clearing up a lot of messy title work that has been done over the years.
And what people have to remember is, when you said at the very beginning of this, when you got into the industry, things were still done 100% by paper.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and now it's while there is paper filing, ahead of that is electronic filing, and when you're relying upon clerks who are their vacations next week, and you come in and file something on a Friday afternoon to get it filed, it may not have gotten filed or gotten filed in the wrong place or in the wrong.
Correct. Yeah.
And so that's the reason that this is so important.
And there were a lot of mom and pop title companies, law firms that create title companies on the side during to kind of I'd say a money grab. We've been here for a long time. We're not going anywhere. The business we've done, it's trusted. It's done correctly. Right. Where these companies were just doing it just to get it done real quickly, and we're having to clean up a lot of those messes.
So if you go in and they're using a word processor, it's probably a good idea to go somewhere else.
Yes, probably. Yeah, I'd say so.
All right. Anything else, PJ? You always have any questions? One of the things I've recognized about Landon is how many movies he quoted, or so he. Are you and Landon on this?
We actually, when I first started here, I was still really into The Walking Dead, and we talked about that quite a bit.
About how much I looked like him?
Well, yeah, you do look like Rick.
Yes,
Rick Grimes.
Yes, I do.
But we would talk about that every now and then. But I've gotten away from The Walking Dead. But.
My father, we bonded on horror movies when I was little. Probably movies I shouldn't have watched, and now I'm having that issue at my house because my son is really into horror movies, and my wife is, you shouldn't be watching that, and I'm like, I watched. Pumpkinhead came on the other day.
Love Pumpkinhead.
And I'm like, I looked at the age of it. I said, I was my son's age when me and my dad sat there and watched Pumpkinhead. And she's like, no, you're not watching that with your son. I'm like, but I turned out fine, I think.
Well, look at me.
That's the same excuse I use is look, I turned out okay. Yes. And I've been watching those movies since I was like, true.
So those movies during that time frame, me and you can probably discuss a lot of those because my dad.
I just got a Pumpkinhead t-shirt, actually. So.
Oh, wow. Landon may want to buy that from you.
I'm actually wearing a Chucky shirt underneath my FWH.
I have a funny story about Chucky. There was I had a roommate at Western Kentucky University, and he would go out of town on the weekends, and I would be in my dorm. It's my freshman year, and I'd be in my dorm by myself, and he had a life-size Chucky poster. And one night I had come in, and I had got just laying down to go to sleep, and I heard noises, and I was like, what in the world is going on, And I was kind of spooked because that thing was staring right at me. And so I go to turn the light on to see what the noise is, and when I do, the Chucky poster falls. And I mean, I yelled like a little girl. I was like, glad nobody was in there. Every time somebody says funny. Chucky, I think of that daggone poster. So, Landon, thanks for coming on to...
Can I give 2 selfless plugs real quick?
Sure, absolutely.
And if not, you can cut it out.
No, plug them. Plug away.
Yeah. I'm on TikTok. If anybody knows, I once had a 1.5 million viewed TikTok that I did. I was the producer. I was not in the TikTok.
Oh, wow.
But if you follow me on social media, I even have the shirt that says TikTokers must talk. So, but on Mondays, I do Monday Sock Mania. And this year, we're doing Pack for a Pair. And I have a lot of family members, clients, friends that will donate socks to me to wear on Monday. They have for the last 3 years, but this year, if you donate a pair of socks for me to wear on Monday and put on the video and advertise that you gave me the socks, Foreman Watson Land Title is buying a package of kids socks to donate to a local charity.
Oh, wow.
So every Monday since the beginning of 2021, I've had a brand new pair of socks that have been donated to me to post, and I've showed that we have bought a package of children's socks, and we've got however many weeks, Mondays that's been so far, we've got a large stack of children's socks ready to donate. So at the end of the year, we're going to have a lot of socks to donate.
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
And that's pretty cool. Yeah. PJ, do you have any socks that you've worn that you want?
I was going to say,
what any worn socks, Landon?
I noticed that you keep throwing brand new socks out there. Yes. And what was going through my head was, what about gently used?
I have a pair that I wear to the bowling alley all the time and the skating rink.
When are you going to start doing a underwear version of that?
Well, the sock thing might be getting a little old after this year, so I may have to change up to something
leggings
different. Yeah, so
I should have back in the day when I had Friday tie day.
Yeah,
I should have done this because I guess how many ties I would have gotten.
Yeah.
That would have been an awesome idea. Well, there you go. It's
I know.
A day late and $1 short.
I'm going to say
ideas.
before you pointed out the fact that it was a charity thing, I was sitting there going, "That sounds like a really great idea to get a bunch of free socks."
Yeah.
Actually.
Yes. No, that's an awesome thing. Now tell me real fast. I don't know what our time is on this, PJ, but who cares? Tell me about your TikTok. I guess I knew you had a 1.5 million followed TikTok.
Okay, so I got into TikTok during the COVID thing. I'm at home with the family, so we do a bunch of TikToks. Well, we sent half of our employees home. Well, when we decided it was safe enough and we were social distancing, had it all set up to bring our employees back, we did one where we had some of our employees dressed up in their onesie pajamas, come walking in the door with their sunglasses on. I think one had a bottle of wine. It looked like, they were coming from house to office, and it just it ran on that, that we're back after whatever many months, and it had some song in the background. I can't remember what song it was, but it got viral on TikTok, and it went from one day to 3,000 views to a week later 30,000 going on, and then it's got over 1.5 million views.
Wow!
And it's really just like a 6-second TikTok.
What do you have to do to be where TikTok will pay you money because you've pushed so many people through? I mean,
I don't know what that number is.
Yes.
Realm. Now my other TikToks have not reached that many views, the ones I'm actually in, but my base following enjoys them.
Good. 2 people.
Yes. No, and they're not in this room either.
All right. Well, we appreciate Landon coming on, and we'll get you back. Maybe what we need to do is have Landon come during the Christmas movie bracket we did a Christmas movie bracket last year. You may have seen. And we're going to get some new blood in here for that. And we also have soon to be coming up is our street brawl bracket, where we pair up people. What we'll do is maybe bring some land title employees into that. So what we basically do is a bracket of if these 2 people were to go out to the parking lot and just tear into each other, who would win. And you came all last year we just did law firm people, and we had Tyler Johnson was the winner. Is that right? Tyler was the end of that. But man, now he's had that shoulder surgery. He's gonna get kicked to the curb. So we'll have you on for a couple of those because I think that's kind of like right up your alley.
Land title has some people you do not want to mess with when they're in a bad mood. Put it that way.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, I'm looking forward to having you divulge that.
We'll do a random draw street brawl number 2. It's kind of like UFC. This is going to be Street Brawl 2 because we had Street Brawl 1. We did it on the fly. We just came up with the idea, right? Yeah. Okay, so those will come up. You'll be a guest. Will you join us for those?
Oh yes, right. I will always be a guest.
Well, this has been Law Lite, brought to you by Foreman, Watson, Holtry, FWHlegal.com. Check us out on all of our areas of social media and on our website. And remember our new telephone number, 270-4-INJURY. It's 270, the number 4 in the word injury. Until next time, thank you.
This case should never have come to trial.
I don't think it's fair to call my clients frauds. Because one time I turned into a dog and they helped me. Thank you.
Your Honor, we would like to withdraw our plea of not guilty and enter a plea of guilty.
This trial is a travesty. It's a travesty of a mockery, of a sham, of a mockery, of a travesty, of 2 mockeries of a sham.
If we are to have faith in justice, we need only to believe in ourselves.
And the truth shall set you free!
How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Oh, guilty, but with a real good excuse.
I think the truth will come forth.
You can't handle the truth!